Good morning my darling and welcome to a new vlog. So today is a very special day. Two very exciting things are happening that I've been awaiting very eagerly. So first of all, this evening my mum and I are going to watch The King and I, which is a musical based on either, I think it was a film first, but maybe it was also a book. Lord knows, but we're both fans of the original, and when we found out that the show was touring the UK, it saved us a trip to London, and I immediately booked tickets to Milton Keynes, which is the closest place where they're performing. Now they're only there for a few nights, so I will put the link in the description below so you can find tickets in your area, and hopefully it's not too late. However, we're very, very excited. We've been awaiting it eagerly for about a few weeks, I think, and so this evening is it. We're going to head to Milton Keynes now, this morning, because we want to make a full day of it. The show is at 7 PM. However, we're going to go shopping, we're going to maybe eat something, and also the other exciting thing is happening at 3 PM. So I schedule myself to get the GARDASIL 9 HPV vaccine. Now, for most people, I bet a vaccine is not that exciting. However, I've been waiting to get this done for about a year. Now, I also wanted to speak on here about this because I think it's a very important matter and I don't think enough people know about it, and it's really great to be informed because this is one of those really important vaccines that you aren't really given. Phone landed on the floor. You aren't given as a baby, you're given as an adolescent. However, if you miss it, it's also really important to get it as an adult. So the Gardasil was offered to me when I was probably about 12, and it was in not primary school, secondary school. And my parents had to sign for it and they decided not to. They decided against it because there were a lot of stories going around. It was quite a new vaccine back then. It hadn't been tested as thoroughly, so they thought, you know what, better be safe. And about like 2 years ago, a friend of mine got the vaccine when she was 27. And for most people, you might argue, well, that's a little bit late. However, looking into it, there are specialists and doctors that encourage you to get it at any age, regardless of gender or sexual orientation, which is why I kind of started thinking about it, and I researched into it and I decided that I really wanted it. Now, if you live in the UK, I know a lot of my audience are surprisingly from the US, so welcome, hello. But if you're in the UK, you get it offered in primary school. Now, if you turn it down, you're still eligible, especially as a female, to get it up to the age of 25, or as a homosexual man, up to the age of 45. So for straight women, it's up to the age of 25, and for gay men, it's up to the age of 45. So that's just what the government decided. I don't know if there's any research behind that. There probably is a logic. However, there is no way that I have found in the past year of getting it free through the NHS. So on the gov.uk website and the NHS website, it states that you can get this vaccine up to the age of 25 and then 45 for the respective parties, free on the NHS. However, that isn't the case because there's no way to get it. I've gone to the GP, I've gone to my old primary school, I've spoken to the nurse, I've spoken to sexual health clinics, the general hospital, HPV clinics, and in the end I also emailed my local member of parliament, and I'm waiting for a response. However, I decided that I would book myself into this vaccine and pay for it myself. Now, this is quite a pricey vaccine. Prices have gone up twice, or at least once since last year. I think it's going up again in 6 days in the clinic where I'm going to go to. And so I thought, you know what, this is the time to do it, because if I keep waiting, it's not so good. And also I want to get it done already because I think it's really important to have. I'll need 3 doses as far as I believe, and I've looked into it. However, I am going to go have a proper consultation. I'll see what the specialists recommend, and then I will book those vaccines and pay for them myself. Now, I think it's worthwhile getting these vaccines because HPV is a very common virus. If you are romantically active in any way, even if you're just kissing a potential partner, you can get HPV. Now, HPV stands for human papillomavirus. It's one of those viruses that you tend to get and your body will sort it out. However, if it doesn't, it will result in cancer. And that's why I decided to pay for it myself, because I thought, how much am I willing to pay in order to feel a little bit safer and protect myself against getting cancer? And these are really common cancers. GARDASIL 9, which is the vaccine that I'm looking to get today, protects against the 9 main strands of HPV. There are many strands of HPV. It's really difficult to protect against all of them, but these are the 9 main ones, and I believe it will protect you from breast cancer, colon, bowel cancer, even throat as well, and a few others. So it's really great to get just for that peace of mind, and that's why I really wanted it, because I thought I'd rather be more safe than sorry, and the rate of cancer has gone down significantly in the countries that have started vaccinating against the human papillomavirus. So there's a lot of research, and it's a really good vaccine. It's also readily distributed in the UK, Europe and Australia and a few other really important countries. So I feel like because the governments of these countries and nations are really believe in this vaccine, it's actually very safe. Now, when I was at school, what the vaccine was back then was called GARDASIL. It wasn't GARDASIL 9. GARDASIL 9 is sort of like a secondary release of the vaccine. So I'm actually glad that I'm getting this version as opposed to the original, because the original had a few more side effects. Now, I might still get side effects with this one, but they should be mild and they should be not so aggressive. So I'm sure I'll be fine for the evening when I have to go see The King and I. And I thought, because I have to go to Milton Keynes to get this, I can't get it in the area where I live. I have to travel a little bit, but I thought 2 birds with 1 stone. I'll get the vaccine, we'll also go watch this musical. But then in hindsight, I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't have booked both on the same day, because what if I feel awful and I'm there in the chair for 2 hours going, God, this is awful. So I don't know. Now I'm slightly concerned, but you know what? It'll be fine. I am positive that I'll be fine, because I don't tend to get reactions from vaccines, even though I haven't had a vaccine in quite a bit, so I can't really speak to that. Anyway, it doesn't matter, but I'm very excited because of these 2 things, and that's why I wanted to vlog, not just because of the musical, but because I believe that getting this vaccine done is very important. I even heard a doctor say that even if you're like 92 years old, you should still get this, because the protection that you get from it is so important. So yeah, if you haven't had it and you would like to get it, or this has piqued your interest, I will leave some links so you can get better informed on why this is a great thing. Now, I'm not paid to say this, in case you're like, wow, she's getting paid by pharmacists. No, obviously not, but I care about you and other people, which is why I wanted to talk about this, because it's such a common thing. Like, people don't bat an eyelid for HPV. It's so common, but it's so easy to contract. So it's very widely spread, and that's a particular concern for people who aren't vaccinated, because you are very prone to getting these other cancers. Anyway, so on and so forth. This, I think I've given you all the background information I can. I'm all dressed, I'm ready to go, I've had breakfast, I'm very excited, and I was trying to put together the sort of outfit that would go well both day and night, and I think I've managed it. So let me show you. On top, I'm wearing this white cotton turtleneck from Peacock, my jeans from Villa, the belt is from Calvin Klein. Over the top, I'll be putting this black velvet blazer from St. Martin's. It's got this beautiful contrasting stitch in white. I really love the tailoring on this. It's perfect, especially at the shoulders and the waist. And I quite like that the right sleeve has this embroidery, whereas the left sleeve is completely blank. It creates a very nice sort of interest to the whole thing. And here is the back. For bag, I'll be taking my Cassandra bag. This is a lovely piece, and I love the drop of this strap because it's the perfect sort of elegant length. It's not too high under the underarm, but it's also not at the waist. It hits really nicely and it sits in this like nook of the waist. I love it when bags do that, and I thought it would go perfectly with my black boots from Echo. This is a pair of Chelsea boots. I won't put them on yet because this is a no shoes household, but you can imagine how it will all sort of look together. It's very minimal, white and black. We're keeping it this way because I think it will be the most versatile options going from day to night. Jewellery is my favourite part of any outfit, which is why I take particularly delight in showing you these pieces. This is a beautiful turquoise ring. The colour of the stone is turquoise as well as the name. It's very beautiful and a standout statement ring. And for earrings, I've got these which match the ring quite nicely. I bought them as a set from a local jeweller and I've been looking forward to wearing them, and this is the first time they're going out. They're quite difficult to style, I'm going to say, because they're such statement jewels that you know, they're kind of an evening piece, and I don't tend to go out at bars or clubs or anything like that. Not that this would be the sort of jewellery to wear to a club, perhaps not. However, because we're going to a musical, I thought this is my perfect excuse, and I'm not going to clutter the look. I'm just going to leave them as it is. No ring on the left hand, just because I want this to shine and I don't want it to get overwhelming. I think less is more in this instance. And I'll also be wearing this watch from Seconda. It's in two colours, both gold and silver, and I think it's going to go best because the accessories, the jewels and jewellery are silver, whereas the bag and my glasses are going to have accents of gold. So this is kind of mixing the best of both worlds. Now that I've given you the lowdown on everything, let's get going. Parked at Midsummer Place. It's about 10 minutes away from the vaccine place, which is fine, we'll walk. And I want to stop by Leon because they have a very special beetroot drink that I'm so excited to share with Mum. I've been telling her about it and I'm so excited because they don't have it where we live, so we're going to get it. To get the beetroot latte, which is delicious, but I spoke to one of the ladies there because I couldn't see it on the menu, and apparently it's a summer thing. So if you want the beetroot latte, you can't have it during winter. They'll only do you the matcha. So we left because we were really sad about it. But anyway, that's fine. I'm just a little bit because I'll have to wait until next summer to get it, which is really unfortunate. I wish they would do it all year round because it's delicious. Anyway, that's all for now. That was not painful at all. It was just a little pinch and it was fine. I'm quite brave when it comes to injections and vaccines and stuff like that because I think it's just a little pain and then it goes away, so it's fine. And I'm feeling well. We have just left Boots, which is where I went, and Mum's just stepped into one of these shops and I thought I'd take a moment to speak to you and update you on everything. It's almost 4 o'clock now, so we're hungry. We've got until 7:30. That's when the performance starts, but I think we'll make our way to the theatre. It's at Milton Keynes Theatre. So at about 7 we should be there. We might get some snacks. I don't know if they have a snack boutique or anything like that, but it should be fine. We did go past a place that has brownies here, so I'd love to get some of those after we eat. I've eyed up 2 places on the map. They have these little booklets where they show you lots of the places where you can go, and we've chosen 2 places to eat before we head off to the theatre, and we're going to see where we end up going in the end. But before then, shopping first, obviously. I'm starting to get quite hungry, and you know what, after my vaccine I think I deserve some food. So yeah, that's our next stop. So far so good. The day's going well, and I hope I'll still feel well and energized by the time we get to the performance. It was delicious. I really enjoyed it, and the hot chocolate was almost like dessert. But now we're going to Butterwick, something like that, to get some brownies and some sweet treats before we head to the theatre. How was dinner? Was it good?
Yes, very good. It was a lovely afternoon.
Yes. And the chicken was really well done, served with chorizo, which was a great choice. And they had these like little potatoes that were almost baked, but they were miniature baked potatoes, which I really enjoyed. So we do recommend. The atmosphere was lovely, and the staff was the nicest. Like, our waitress was the loveliest, most attentive person, but everyone there was very, very nice. Weren't they nice? They were really nice people. Yeah. Anyway, let's get some brownies. And it's so exciting! down on my bedroom floor so I can speak to you. I feel like this is the best spot for a catch up. This has started to be like our little spot. So I wanted to show you some bits that I picked up today and take you through the day a little bit. So I picked up some gloves. Here they are. So I bought 3 sets because I have a pair of brown winter boots and a pair of black winter boots and I like to match. So these ones I've actually already worn because it was so cold outside. It's 5 degrees right now, but it feels more like 2 degrees. It's so cold. It's like that bitter glacial sort of cold that almost feels like it's biting your face and any exposed skin. So I had a jacket over my blazer. The wind was just blowing through us. I mean, it was really strong. But these mittens kept my hands so toasty. So they're these black leather ones and they have, I think this is sheep shearling inside, and this is from a brand called Lamo. Here we go. And I really love these because the leather is so soft and it almost feels like the sort of leather that is really easy to scratch. However, I think these will still be quite durable just because my handbag, one of whatever, has a very similar type of leather and it is surprisingly good. So yeah, I think they will be lovely for winter. Then from a brand called Ashwood, I got 2 pairs. I got these ones, which are fingerless gloves. I really liked the fluffy ends on these. The leather is not as soft as this one, but it's got more of a suede kind of feel to it. And these are really good because sometimes I need to use my fingers. When I drive especially, I don't want to wear gloves because I want it to still have that ability to be tactile. However, this means that I can still hold the steering wheel properly and feel the gear shift, and gloves won't get in the way of my driving. And also in rehearsals when I have to flick through pages and the script, these are going to be very useful. And then from the same brand, I also got these. They're not the perfect shade. This is actually better, but I loved how they felt. So that really sold me on it. This is what they look like. And I loved again that they were sheep. So all 3 have that shearling inside as well as outside. And you can even pull this up so that if you want extra coverage with your hands to keep them extra toasty, you can pull this part up and it will protect you past your wrist, so you can see they're really long. And this is really great. You can tuck this in to your coat and all of a sudden you're very warm. So that's really nice. Also bought this mug, which is a very interesting uneven sort of shape. It looks very artisanal. It's by Ray Dunn in collaboration with Magenta. I hadn't heard of either of those brands, but I thought this was quite beautiful and minimal and lovely for Christmas. There's a wreath on one side and then on the other it says Merry Christmas. Isn't that cute? And it's going to be such a lovely gift for a friend. Next up, let's talk about the vaccine. So it's fine, a little bit sore at the moment, but I'm sure in a few days it will pass. 1 or 2 days it should be feeling a lot better. The consultation was really great. I went to Boots, everyone was really lovely and helpful, and yeah, everything's fine. I actually got to see the box. It was sealed and I checked the expiry date, which is really important. I don't know why I was kind of paranoid that it might be expired. I don't know why it would be, but anyway, they're very diligent. The lady told me that they keep it in fridges, I mean the vaccine, and they're very good about it, so it was a good experience. I recommend if you're looking for a vaccine, you can go to Boots, pharmacy that is. And then at the restaurant we had the best time. The waitress that we had was the most attentive waitress I have ever seen, which is why like I've really wanted to tip her properly, because it was like the best service. Like the food was delicious, but the service was outstanding. She would come to the table, and any time our glass of water would empty, she would top us up. She came and asked if our hot chocolate was nice. She came to ask if our meal was good. She came to ask if we could like if we wanted anything else while we're having our meal, she brought us the desserts menu, but we had already had hot chocolate, so it was enough sugar. And she was just overall really attentive, and she had the biggest smile, and she was so polite. All the staff were polite. Whoever recruited them, like top-notch recruiting, like outstanding. And the atmosphere was lovely, and the chef, I think his family came, and they were sat in the booth behind us, because we sat in the booth and it was quite discreet. It was very nice. And I think his little girl came as well, and I could hear them chatting, so I saw him come from upstairs, which is where the kitchen is. And he came to the table, and then his daughter, or the little girl there, asked where he had been. He was like, well, I was just chopping chorizo in the kitchen. And then out come our plates, and I see that it's part of the meal, and I was like, oh, he was preparing our meal just before he came downstairs. And then I saw him take the little girl upstairs, probably to where he works, to the kitchen, just to probably show her around, which is what made me think it was his daughter. It might have been his niece, but whatever. It was such a sweet moment, and I was like, oh, that's so sweet. It was really endearing. And I remember when I used to go to my mum's workplace, she would occasionally bring me to see her and where she worked, and she used to work in this huge office, and it was always so exciting. There were so many people, and everyone was so sweet, and they were like, oh, because, you know, it was like a nice, interesting event when like a child comes into the office. It's probably not done so often now, that you might bring your child to the workplace to see where, for them to see where you work, but I think it's really nice and interesting, and that always made me feel like I wanted to work where my mum worked, because I was like, wow, it seems like a really nice place, even though I don't think I would have enjoyed it. It was kind of a stressful job. Anyway, getting sidetracked. And talking about the tip for our waitress, sometimes restaurants will share the tip, but I always think if you have a really lovely member of staff, it's really nice to actually give them the tip personally, as opposed to it going in a communal pot, because I've had really bad experiences with waiters where they weren't polite, they were rushing, and they weren't as nice to myself and the people I was eating with. And so I always think if you have a lovely waiter, it's really important to appreciate them and give them their tip, because not all of their colleagues are equally as invested. I think in this place they were, but anyway, that's my personal philosophy. So I had to go to the cash machine, and withdraw some cash so I could tip her, because I was paying by card. And so she told me where it was, and I walked outside. I didn't know you could walk inside through Midsummer Place or wherever it was. And so I walked outside, I found it in the end. It was quite far, and then I walked back in so I could walk back to the restaurant, but inside of the shopping centre. I needn't walk outside, but you know, that's what she told me to do, so that's what I did. And on my way back, I lost a button. There are 2 buttons on this blazer at the back, and I heard it drop, but I didn't think it was me. When I heard the noise, it was like this ping. I think it's when it hit the floor and whatever things around where I was, because I was rushing about really fast to get back so I could pay for the meal and then we could go. And it popped off, and I didn't realise. So we paid, we left, we went to a few other shops, and then we went to the car so I could grab my coat because it was cold, and so we could drop off this shopping. And then I realised that I'd lost the button. So there we were, rushing back to find this button, and of course we couldn't find it. But then I saw the lovely cleaning lady who was sweeping up the floor, and I asked if she'd seen it, and right there and then she looked at what she had just been sweeping, and she picked up this round thing and handed it to me and was like, is this your button? And I look at it, and it is, and it was just the happiest moment. I was so happy, she was so happy, my mum was so happy, we were all like close to kissing each other. We were so overjoyed because we were in such a rush to get in time to the musical that we didn't have time to look for a button, but we came back anyway, because I would have had to change all of the buttons on here so that they would match, and that would have been the biggest ordeal because there are 11 buttons on this blazer, and that's ridiculous, and they're different sizes. So it saved me doing that. I just have to sew it back on, which is absolutely fine and no big deal. And yeah, just the funniest little thing. And then we got to the theatre, we took our seats, we were sat between two lovely couples. We sat in row K, which I really liked, at the Milton Keynes Theatre, in their like big auditorium. And yeah, really good row. We weren't super close, but we weren't very far away. Like, we could see the faces of the actors and their costumes and the whole stage. We weren't so close that we were, you know, like ping-ponging from one side of the stage to the other. Like, we could just stare out and see it really well. So yeah, I like that row. I hadn't been to the Milton Keynes Theatre before. I'd been to the Cube, but not to the theatre, and the Cube is another theatre, but it's smaller. But yeah, I recommend. It was really, really fun, and The King and I was really good. It was 3 hours long, 2 hours and 55 minutes, but so completely worth it. By the interval, we didn't even feel like an hour and a half had gone by. It was really that quick, and there was so much music and dancing, and I love the choreography. There's a scene where they're putting on a play, so it's like a play within a play, and they had the best dancing there. I really loved it. There were so many comedic moments, both like accidental comedy and intended comedy, and it was just so funny. And the way it was written, it really played on the times, and it seemed funny to us as an audience that they had certain views about the world or about weather in other countries and women as well. And yeah, it was just really funny like that. And they even talked about the fashion of the time and how funny that was. Well, it seems funny to us now. And yeah, it was just that contrast, and they accentuated the differences, but in a really nice way. But again, the choreography was really great, the costumes were wonderful. I really liked the cast. The king was really good. He had really great nuance between his really strict moments and his moments with his children, or when he was dancing. So there was a really good emotional playing happening, going from one emotion to another, and really like playing those moments. I also really like the king's son. I felt like the casting was amazing with him. He had a lot of power in his voice when he was singing, and we both thought that was great. Like, he was singing at one point, and Mum and I just turned to each other and was like, he's really good. I love that the captain, the actor that played the captain, played the English ambassador as well. It was really good to see him, and I think he's bold, the actor, so when he was playing the captain, he didn't have any hair, and then when he was playing the English ambassador, I think he had a wig on because his hair was grey. And I love that they used the same actor twice. That was really, really good and fun to see. And yeah, I just loved it. Everything was really, really good. I don't think I would go and watch it again in a hurry. However, if someone just invited me tomorrow, I'd go see it again, because it was a really, really fun time. And from the get-go, as soon as, because it was a live orchestra, by the way, which I love, but as soon as the orchestra started playing, people were sort of bopping along because they knew the tune. So yeah, really, really good. Yeah, physical choreography just got me. Like, the way they were moving around the stage, they used the space so well. That was my favourite part. Anyway, so yeah, a really good time, a really good day. And thank you for coming along. Oh, the brownies. I was going to forget to tell you about the brownies. So after we finished dinner, we had seen at the start of the day this brownie spot, and we were like, you know what, let's get some brownies. We probably won't eat them now, we might eat them at home. And we did eat them at home with some ice cream, some vanilla ice cream, and they were very yummy. However, I found them a little bit oily. Like, the texture was gooey, but not because the dough had been left that way, but because there was a lot of oil inside, and I'm not a huge fan of that. I think brownies should be gooey because they're cooked that way, as opposed to them being gooey just because they have a lot of oil. So I found them a little bit oily, but the taste was nice, and we went for the cookie dough brownies, and they weren't so rich. Like, I thought they would be sickly because of the white chocolate on top, that wasn't the case. They were really nice. And yeah, all in all, an absolutely fab day. I'm very happy with my gloves. I'm all set for winter. You might think, did you not have any gloves? I did have some, but they were ski gloves that I'd had for years, and they're really good because they're really warm, but they're also like a big commitment. Like when you wear ski gloves, like it's got to be really cold. You can't just pop to the shops in ski gloves. It's a bit intense. So yeah, I'm glad I picked those up, and I've started Christmas shopping already apparently. And oh, I found it so funny today. I was in a shop and they were playing Christmas songs. Not every song was a Christmas song, but they had started, and I was like, it's only early November, like you can calm down. But it was kind of nice, sort of getting in that Christmassy mood. And yeah, it was really productive. I had the best time, especially with Mum. I always love spending time with her, and I'm really glad that we got to see the musical together, because we also talked about it on the way home, so it was really nice, a great discussion point. So I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Thank you for coming along with me, and if you enjoyed it, please subscribe because there will be more coming your way, and have yourself a good morning, evening or afternoon, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!